So we're just going to go and have a quick look at kind of typical-ish kind of cancer question. So it talks about some types of cancer can cause a number of blood components. So everything that we talk about in our answer needs to relate to the blood in a person's blood to fall to a dangerously low level. Right, so we're talking about things in the blood falling. So a person with one of these types of cancers may experience tiredness, frequent infections, bleeding that will not stop after the skin is cut. So explain how a very low number of these blood components may cause these symptoms. So as well as thinking about cancer, we're probably also thinking about those main components that we find in the blood. So the way that I would go and tackle it is go and talk about all three of those bits that it asks about separately. So if you're talking about tiredness, that is because you're going to go and have fewer red blood cells, right? So there's going to be less hemoglobin. Remember, hemoglobin is transporting oxygen around the body, so less oxygen will be transported. So therefore, less, right? And you've got to say aerobic respiration can take place, right? You could go and talk about, therefore, more anaerobic respiration will take place. And that goes and generates lactic acid, which causes muscle fatigue, right? So that is probably why it's making you tired. Second bit, so that bit about frequent infections, right, that's all to do with the immune system. So we need to talk about the fact that there's fewer white blood cells. So therefore we'll have fewer antibodies. So therefore fewer pathogens will be killed. And finally, we can talk about more bleeding. Right, bleeding is stopped by platelets in the blood because they go make blood clots. So if you've got less platelets, then the blood is not going to go and clot as easily. Right. So they're just a few key things that you might want to think about when answering this type of question.